I just got kicked off of my live on TikTok for, I guess because I looked under 13. I'm not really sure. I guess the lighting isn't the best in here. I was in the middle of making a coffee and telling everyone to do what's manageable. So that's what I'm going to do here. Buy your cold brew. If you can't make your cold brew, it's totally, totally fine. Now, what I do to enhance the flavor of things that are store bought or even in my own life, like just having these things that I have regular coffee, instant coffee, making your coffee life better, is literally just me adding some of this lavender syrup to this oat milk. I was in the middle of pouring when I got banned, or whatever. I think it's banned. I don't know. Then you use your frother. I'm a big fan of frothers. I have two frothers. I've had a total of five frothers my whole life. Actually, I think I have three or four frothers, but I've had a lot over time. And one of the things that I like the most is the fact that you just do this. You make a cold foam in like 2 seconds, and all you're doing is literally adding a bunch of air and bubbles to that milk that is sweetened with whatever your syrup preference is. Now I have a lot of different syrups. I just rinse it. Um, I use a lot of different syrups because I enjoy different kinds of coffee, and I also enjoy not having to leave my house. So the comforts of my own home are the reason why I do the things I do. I'm using my nugget ice. I just got a new ice maker, a nugget ice maker, which is like life changing, and I really like it. It's been a sorry, I didn't mean for this to be loud. It's been a really wonderful thing to have in my life. I really enjoy it. At this point, I think based on the coffee or lack of coffee I have had, I'm probably gonna do. Yeah, I probably have too much oat milk in this, but it's fine. It's a lot of cold foam. That's a lot of cold foam. So that's going to be whatever it is. I am in the middle of making bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit sandwiches for my kids. I'm going to go ahead and start the biscuits in about 5 minutes. The temperature is already up to whatever the temperature is supposed to be, but I am not ready because I like to have things come out all at the same time. And my bacon is not even completely thawed yet. So I'm going to check my bacon right now. That's one of the reasons why I was on the live. I was just chatting away and kind of like getting my morning going because that's what I prefer to do most days is get everything else going prior to actually starting the big project or whatever that is. So apparently I think bacon, egg, and cheese biscuits is a big project, and to me it kind of is. So I mean if it's up to me really, if it was really up to me, I wouldn't be doing this at all. I'd be going through a drive through and or I'd be going to give the kids cereal. But they deserve better than that. So what am I going to do? I'm going to make my ice cold brew coffee with a lavender cold foam, which is exactly what I did. Hi, how's it going? I am making, so this is so if you follow me, if you don't follow me, everything I do is like do what's manageable. Do the bare minimum. Don't do more than that because sometimes that's overwhelming. And what I'm doing right now is showing you that it's totally cool to go through a drive through or go to the supermarket and buy your coffee pre-made. Buy the cold brew. It's totally fine. Do I have the capabilities of making cold brew? Absolutely. So that's the thing. This cold brew right here is brewing some, what is this? Coffee infused vodka. So if I have coffee infused vodka, I only have one cold brewer. I have this giant pitcher cold brewer, but I'm not interested in using it. So over Easter, or as I was preparing for Easter brunch, go ahead, guys. You're good. You can keep going. While I was preparing for Easter brunch, I went ahead and I just bought myself one of those cold brew, like already pre-made mixes, Starbucks kind. I'm not really a fan of Starbucks, but I was showing the world that the best way to enhance all of your flavors, all of your coffee, is to add whatever is good to you. So if you go through a drive-through, if you already know the kinds of things that you order, the best thing you can do is just replicate it at home and save yourself the time, energy, and money that you would ordinarily be putting out there. Because I just don't like. Is it drinkable? This is the moment. Not really. It's far more drinkable now. But this, it is really good. All it is like a frother and some oat milk with a little bit of lavender syrup because that's what I use. I use lavender syrup. So for me, doing these things that are manageable, it's just makes my life so much better. So this right here is my ice. I have an nugget maker. If you guys follow me here on YouTube, if you don't follow me, you should hit the follow button. But more importantly, if you don't follow me here, I actually have a much larger following on TikTok. So it's up to you if you want to follow me or not. I don't put pressure anywhere, so that is what it is. But what I am going to do now is start my eggs. So my eggs, starting to get my bacon going. I have a lot of like storage issues here, which is primarily the reason why I don't like to cook, because then I'm pulling something from somewhere, I'm doing something else, and it's really annoying to me. So at the moment, I'm going to start my eggies. And if you have kids, or if you like cute things, you probably say eggies like I do. And I'm gonna get these things started, just to have these ready because the egg component is pretty quick. The bacon is a little bit longer, and I gotta check to see if it's thawed, but I can at least start getting this process going before I dirty my hands in too many different ways. So I will do 5 or 6 eggs. The eggshells are where the eggshells place to live. No idea. I always have this problem. Every day I have this problem of where the heck do I put these eggshells? Because it's only, right now, I'm only doing this for like 2 seconds. Then the eggshells go directly into the trash. But in the meantime, I'm collecting them here on the side. So anyway, these are the plights of the American, right? There's really nothing bad about this. It's literally just take a minute to put them down. It's fine. So I just got more eggs. We use a lot of eggs, I feel like. I'm going to go ahead and stick with the 5 I have. I don't think we'll need more than that. I'll add a splash of milk. Oh, I should do the ricotta cheese thing. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do the ricotta cheese or the cottage cheese thing. So I wash my hands like nobody else. That is just the thing I do. I'm really big on washing my hands. Making sure things are like germ free. Like my floor is filthy right now. That doesn't matter. It's germ free. Like everything else is germ free. Everything I touch. If you see me touch my headphones or see me touch like my face, I immediately wash my hands. Not the back of my hand. Back of my hand's fine. But everything else, I'm very mindful about how I cook in the kitchen because I don't know. Like something about working in the service industry and being like super mindful about what those things are, what you are allowed to do, what you shouldn't do. They just changed the way I do things now. So let's see. I was hoping I'd have some kind of cheese component that I could just throw on top or inside, but I don't seem to have it. I thought I did. I thought I had some kind of cottage cheese. I really wanted to do something to make this a little bit more higher in protein, but we're going to have to. Oh, here it is. Sorry. This is the less fun part, like when I'm not 100% ready. And also, like I said, I was going to be on live on a different platform. So the fact that I'm live over here, just different. Let's see, I have ricotta cheese and I can almost guarantee it is bad. So I'm going to double check it. It's ricotta. I don't know if this is good or bad. Oh, it was frozen at some point. How do you know if it's good or bad? When the hell did I use ricotta? I don't even know when I used this. Since it's good still. All right. I'm going to take off the first layer just to make sure that it's good. I don't see any mold. There are no weird things present, but me personally, I'm weird. So I'm gonna, this part, it looks like it was frozen on top. That's what it was. Everything else here looks fine. But again, I don't really know what this is from. I don't know why I had this or what I was using it for. Like maybe I was using it for like a dessert or something. But usually I use this for like pasta, Italian food. I don't know. I usually make like lasagna. So this is weird that this is here. Anyway, now that I'm done rambling, I'm going to go ahead and add just a tiny bit of this ricotta to make it fluffy, to make it whatever. I'm going to use this soon. Ricotta. I'm going to go ahead and use either a mixer of some kind, or maybe I will use a handheld. What is this called? It is a special kind of mixer. Yes, I realize that this is not my favorite live right now. Not because there aren't people engaging, but mostly because I feel unorganized here, and I don't like to be unorganized when I'm in the middle of a live. So this thing, whatever this is, that's what I'm using right now. That helps me to mix all my stuff, make it super good, and I really like using it. So immersion blender, that's what it's called, an immersion blender. That is what I'm going to use right now. I feel like we've been doing a lot of going out to eat lately. I feel like I can see it in my drawers because all these things seem to be a little bit more unorganized than they usually are. So give me like 2 seconds to just get this. There we go. Immersion blender on the way. Very simple. One of my favorite tools in the kitchen by all, like compared to all the other tools that I have a lot. But this is just like ready to go. And I'm not really doing very much here. Two seconds, dude. 2 seconds. This will go right into here. This goes right back. That's the reason why I like it, because it mixes everything you need it to. So that ricotta cheese that's going to offer a little bit more depth is also going to add a lot of nice flavor. To that, I'm going to add a little bit of milk. I know it already has like a milk component, but adding a little bit of milk. And I think I'm going to go ahead and just do a shredded cheese because I have some. I usually try to do something like a cheese on top after, and I still will do that, but we usually use block cheese because we've been kind of going back and forth about allergies around here. Yes, I realize there's tons of milk in all of this, but the milk doesn't seem to be the allergy component. It's actually the gluten that we're looking at for our family. So if you don't already know this, the block cheese has no gluten in it, or typically doesn't have gluten. Otherwise, you're looking at a potato starch that's inside most of the other kinds of shredded cheese. So again, the cold foam, it's kind of a messy thing here, but it's what gets my morning going. So the thing I was doing here prior to making the eggs was getting together. I have some like prepackaged, what is that called? Hash browns. And then here I have been thawing up my bacon for the last like 10 minutes, I think. And this bacon is just going to go right into the pan. So I'm going to do the pan stuff, then I'll do the egg stuff, and then I'll do the biscuit stuff right now. So we're going to put that for 10 minutes. And it's really simple. Like, this stuff is not hard to do. It's just 50 different things all at the same time, which, if you're me, can be a bad combination, because I will almost 100% sure ruin this if I'm not paying attention to everything all at once. So I like to make sure everything is set up before I really start cooking and before I start doing the main part of cooking. Also, I will use a lot of oil in cooking because I don't care. I think people have an issue with like the expense of oil, but I will also use a good heaping amount of butter 90% of the time because I like butter, and it's something that just makes the flavor of eggs and things just taste so much better. So this was the end of my butter that I had sitting out. And then I'm going to go ahead and start my bacon. Again, this is going to move really fast because all it is like biscuits are already in the oven. So I'm going to try and like do this as fast as possible to make sure that this is not, I'm not missing a step, or the steps that I have here are not going to be like, burning food here. So my pan is hot with oil. One pan is hot with oil. The other pan is heating up. So I'm about to add my bacon to it. I do cut my bacon just for better control, but I also don't like necessarily that I cut my bacon because sometimes this happens and it's just a giant mess. And that is not what I want. I would like a not mess for my life, because my life is so messy already. I actually think it's the scissors. Maybe they're not as good as they used to be. Okay, bacon is ready to go. So all of that was literally just to get it ready. I have my heat on. I'll lower this a bit. You see the butter completely melted. So I'm just going to go ahead, lower the flame, throw my eggs in. Let's see if I have. I'm using my butter, my hands that just touched a bunch of pork. So all of this stuff is about to go right into the sink, because I don't like using things that have pork hands on it. I don't like touching pork. I don't like touching meat. So again, I wash my hands a lot because it's important to me to have clean utensils, no cross-contamination to the best of my ability, and work with the parts that I can control, and that's basically it. So after that, I'm going to go ahead and start putting my bacon on, which is funny because I just washed my hands and probably didn't have to. But I'm going to put my bacon on. The biscuits are on for about 10 minutes. I'll check them at the 10-minute mark. We have a new oven, so I'm not really sure how it works at all times, but this is the amount of bacon I'm using. It's probably about, well, I'll count them. The one thing about this I'll say is when you cut it, unfortunately, sometimes pork belly is a little bit fattier in some parts. So even though I have these pieces and they're meant to be really like even, they're not going to be even. So I probably will end up cooking all the bacon. But in the meantime, this is what I'm doing. I have a total of, it looks like 10 small pieces, but really it's just 5 full pieces. So 10 and a half. 10 and a half pieces of bacon, wash my hands again, stir those eggs up, and that's it. This is a very quick and easy breakfast. It does not take very long. And part's the price point, probably a little bit under $10 because I feel like buying bacon, well, bacon's about $4. I used about 5 eggs, that's half a carton. That's another $3. Um, and then the biscuits are about $3 or $4. So around $10 for breakfast. If you add cheese, if you don't, like again, these are things that I have on hand. So for me, just not going to go buy them at a drive-through or something like that, it's very good. It's not perfect, and it's not the best thing I've ever made, but it'll do, and the kids will eat it or they won't, and that'll be what we have for breakfast. So for me, I feel like it's a good way to just kind of like, when you think about how much food we waste, I think we're all right here. So I'm going to go ahead and stir up my eggs. My eggs, I'll add some salt and pepper to it in a few minutes. But right now, these eggs look soft and fluffy and pretty. Like I said, copious amounts of butter and oil will give you that delicious, heavy, fatty component that you want from these nice fluffy eggs. There is some cheese in this, so I'm making this, it's a lower flame, even lower, farther than that. And I would say at this point, this is where my sister-in-law would say that this runny egg is done. I do not feel the same way, so I will be continuing to stir this, but I will add these eggs to the biscuits as soon as they're out. So I'm going to let that cook for a minute. The bacon is cooking very nicely, and like I said, these are just easy meals. So a lot of my content, if you don't already watch me, remember, hit the follow button, but a lot of my content is based around the theory or facts that if you just do what's manageable, that's all you really have to do. And a lot of people will go through and they will stop doing anything because it's too overwhelming. Because doing what's manageable to them is wanting to clean the entire house without recognizing the fact that it's not really feasible. Like cleaning an entire house when you have a chronic illness or you're super pregnant or you're tired or depressed or you have schoolwork or work, it's exhausting. Doing those things is exhausting. And if you don't give yourself grace and you don't give yourself time, then what you're going to end up doing is burning out. So for me, the theory of, or the motto, or whatever the hell you want to call it, about doing what's manageable is all about taking small steps, taking very, very small steps to do the things that are good for you, for your mental health and wellness. And then that's it. Now, if I was in a worse spot this morning where I wasn't able to keep up with the food that I was making, then I'm sure I would very likely want to do something like go through a drive-through. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no problem with going through a drive-through. It's just that if I feel up to it and we have the food available, there are days where this is manageable. This is much more manageable than not. So I'm going to go ahead and just flip this bacon over right now. I'm taking it piece by piece, a little bit at a time. And just, it's fattier. These are fattier portions, but it's fine. It's totally fine. And I'm going to go ahead, get this going, and then that'll be it. My bacon will be done pretty soon. Again, watch for any cross-contaminations. This isn't a meal that you usually make. If this is a meal you usually make, you already know. But you want to make sure that your food is good. So these eggs are super duper fluffy. They are really fluffy. They almost feel like they're a little bit underdone, but they're not. They're just really fluffy because of the milk and egg component, the way I emulsify the eggs, and even the way I did, I think, what did I do? Even the way that I handled with the butter and everything else. So this is, I'd say, ready to go. So these will be added to the biscuits and we'll let them sit here. It almost reminds me of like a custardy type egg. It's a very nice soft egg, and I really like it. So with that being said, I will put the slide on so I don't open the oven. If you can avoid opening the oven whenever you're baking anything until it says like the time when you're supposed to open it, you're better off, far better off. So this is going to go off. We're done with this. Move that over here. Our bacon is cooking very nicely. Now, I did want to make some hash browns, so I think I'm going to just go ahead and do that. I have the time. Again, you know, like doing what's manageable, sometimes you find yourself in a position like this where you have a lot more capabilities than you usually do. And I think that that's a really important thing to consider when you're looking at life or you're looking at the way you personally handle and do things. It's supposed to be one of these easier lives, right? Like we need to do things that actually just function. And I'm not saying that life should be 100% easy at all times. It's not. That's not what I don't believe that life just needs to be easy. I do think we need to cut ourselves some slack though. And part of cutting ourselves some slack is doing what's manageable. So me not doing a bacon, I'm sorry, me not doing a potato means that I get to just use what I have. I bought this the other day. It's totally fine to use it. Um, I don't know anything about it. I've never really used it beyond the bake that I used it in. So like I literally just read the instructions and directions of how to use it a few minutes ago. So it's not frozen. It's just from the cold section. My oil is not completely loose. I want it to be a little bit looser because it's not as hot as I need it to be. So I'm going to go ahead and focus on the bacon for 2 seconds. Flip these little guys over, and then I'm probably going to drain them. Now, I do drain them on a napkin or paper towel, but it's fine. But this bacon is actually crisping up really nicely. I thought it was going to be a little bit fattier, but the fat seems to be doing its beautiful crispiness. So I'm going to go ahead and flip that. I say flip these a lot. I don't know why. But as I do that, I'm going to go ahead and just get my towel ready so that way I will be 100% ready. Now these are going straight into the pan. They're very simple. Like all you do is literally add oil to the pan and then add this. Again, not really use these. All of them just use like a spatula or spoon to like spread it out and press it down. That's literally all it said. Now I'm going to assume that there's no flavor here. So we'll go ahead and add our salt right now because potatoes need all the salt in the world, even if they're processed. And I have pepper somewhere. I don't know where. Oh, here it is. So my husband got these really cool things for me. I really like them. These are these, whatever shaker things. So that's good. And I also didn't add any to the egg like I initially thought I would. So I'm going to go ahead and add some of that. And these guys are ready to go. So I'm going to pull that off of there right now before I burn everything because we're already at that point. Like I can always tell we're like right at the spot of maybe potentially burning the food. But sometimes I get it right on time and sometimes I don't. Right now, I believe I just got it right on time. Perfect timing for the perfect bacon. So these are just going to go onto these biscuit sandwiches. My alarm for my oven did go off. I have it on silent because I don't like listen to the damn song that it puts out. It's an LG thing. It always makes sounds and songs. I'm going to double check my biscuits in the oven because I think it's important to see what they look like. I put it for about 10 minutes in here. These are almost 100% done. I'd actually say they probably are done. But I want to get my bacon on first and then I'll pull this out. So this part of the bacon this part of the bacon seems to be a little bit more meaty. So again, just doing what's manageable, grabbing what you have, and literally I have the food here. So I did consider making like a sausage because we have some frozen sausage patties, but I thought it might be a little bit of overkill. So rather than do that, I'm just using the bacon that I had because the kids prefer bacon anyway. So very simple. Like I said, we're not doing too much here, guys. I think I said that about 75 times in this live. I get nervous on live, It's just one thing to be on live with people that you know, and a whole other thing to be on live where people are going to find you, and it's a different kind of feeling. Like when I have a lot of support from people, it's much easier to just be like, hey guys, what's up? I'm just being myself. And here I am, but also I feel like I'm on a cooking show right now because I'm not talking with nobody. There isn't a lot of engagement over here on YouTube yet. So as I work through it, you guys are just going to get to hear all my inner thoughts. And one day someone's going to record all these and say, wow, that was such a great podcast. And that'll be that. So, yeah, that's what it is today, guys. But making food, making things manageable, that's all I ever care about. So really, at the end of the day, as long as you leave here feeling like you learned something, the things I'm sharing with you have some kind of value for you, that's all that matters. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off my oven, because we are 100% ready. I do not like this oven. I can't tell you enough. I don't like it. Take this out of the oven. I really need to get something better than this. I don't like any of the, this is okay, but perfect. Perfect. And I'm going to go ahead and just put those on a board. I'm going to feed the kids from a board today. So I'll be able to put this. So I have a very small kitchen, like in terms of like space. Gotta have a lot of like space in my kitchen to really spread out. And part of it is because I have like 1,000 appliances on the counter. But also, this house wasn't made for now. This house was made for like a long time ago. So these. I'm gonna feed them like it's a trough here. Mostly like a charcuterie board, I guess I'd say. But that means because I have that put away, I can actually do the thing that I was trying to do, which was put this pan back into the oven because of my lack of space. So I can see right now I'm actually burning these hash browns. So I'm going to check them out and see if I can move them around, or I don't like these hash browns. There's a reason why these go into little hash brown cups and not on my stove. I'm not really a fan of this. So this is kind of dumb. Also, a piece of bacon just like slapped me in the face. So there's that. Probably to put this in here. Go ahead and flip my bacon again. And still, even after this, like I've done some bacon already. I've done a couple different pieces, and I can see that I still have more pieces in the bowl. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with those yet. I might use them for a different recipe because I don't feel like we need a ton of bacon. But right now, this is cooking up really nicely. I think we're just about ready to start putting everything together into little pockets of goodness in the biscuits, but the biscuits just came out. So I want things to be a little bit cooler. Again, I'm not really feeling these biscuits. I don't know if I'm doing it wrong. Probably doing it wrong, but I definitely expected them to be a little bit better than this in terms of like the sticking part. You know, definitely sticking. So I don't like hash browns like this anyway. It's fine. We need more oil. That's what I think it is. As much oil as possibly can. I think that makes a difference. I feel like at restaurants they have this big giant grill, and then the oil is just like always on the grill, or they just like one time and it's good. And for whatever it is, they're able to make the most delicious hash browns. I don't feel like I'm in that situation. I feel like these hash browns are like not my favorite. So it's never been my strong suit. Hash browns have never been my strong suit. But let's see. Leave that there for a minute. And that's it. I think we're just about done, guys. I think this is, yeah, this is breakfast. Breakfast. Honest and unbiased breakfast. I can't wait till I get to the point where I'm able to go through and grab all of my different monitors and cameras and have a bunch of people from different lives that I'm on at the same time. I think I need to set that up this week. I think that'll be great because I have my friends who they do similar things where they will grab, they'll be on YouTube, they'll be on Twitch, they'll be on all these areas. And I don't know if I belong on Twitch, but I definitely think that there's different markets and different people who need to hear different things. So I would love to be the voice to help people do the things that they need to do. And this morning we were doing what's manageable, as we do all mornings, and we're building out breakfast. because it's easier to build it than go through a drive-through today. So, plus, I plan to spend money later today too. That's the one thing I'll say, like when it comes to spending money and being really mindful about how I spend money, I feel like I've become increasingly mindful about it. Like for whatever that reason is, I just care so much about being, I don't know if it's like our economy is just in the crapper. I don't know. But for whatever it is, I really care very much about how we spend our money these days. So if I know I'm going out to eat today, like I do know, then it makes me want to make a better breakfast at home. One, so we're not overspending when we do go out to eat because we're starving. But two, because I think that if I want to spend money somewhere and I want to enjoy what we're doing, it's just important to be able to do so. So that bacon is just about ready. I'm going to go ahead and drain it again on a paper towel. And that's it. I think we'll be done with cooking bacon. I do have about half the package of bacon left over still, so I'll probably use that. I really was thinking of doing something like something really good actually, which is what is that called? What is that? Dang it, lost my train of thought. I started thinking about Taco Cat goat cheese pizza. It's my brain. That is my brain. I don't know what I was saying. It's okay. Totally okay. Jalapeno poppers, maybe? Maybe that's what I was going to say. I have no idea what I was about to say. But in any event, we are done cooking breakfast. The hash browns will never come to fruition. And I'm going to, I guess I could make one real quick so you guys can see what it looks like. But let's see. This is far too hot now. Shouldn't have left that on the stove. Let's see. These biscuits are perfect. They're perfect, perfect, perfect little biscuits. And all I'm going to do is grab my perfect little biscuit and cut off its perfect little top and put its perfect little egg. So just a little bit. You don't need a lot. These are small. Well, these are big biscuits actually, but you only need as much as a child will eat, because my kids will not eat anyway. And I will grab some bacon, like crispy pieces of bacon. It's good so far. And then the next thing I'm gonna grab, which is like not the thing most people are doing, I think. A lot of people probably aren't doing it at all. Is this cheese that we buy? We buy the Land O'Lakes. Oh no, did my husband take it off? Oh no, we didn't even buy it. Terrible. Horribly. We're not doing that. I guess we're cutting cheese. Oh, I don't want to use this cheese. You know what? That's what they do at McDonald's. We're gonna use that cheese. I'm gonna use American cheese for this one. A piece of American cheese. Oh goodness. It's not my favorite. It's not my favorite, but we have it, so we have to use it. I wonder if this will work like Velveeta. I'm not sure. No idea. But voila. She's ready. Okay. I'm gonna get off this live. I'm done embarrassing myself.